Well, my next guest here to talk about the UK's controversial plan to drop pandemic restrictions, which a growing number of scientists say is a dangerous move. Richard Horton is the editor-in-chief of the medical journal The Lancet, and he joins us now from London. Good to have you with us.
Hello, good to be with you.
So a dangerous and unethical experiment on the people of UK. That's how it's being described by one doctor in this report that you're part of. How would you describe it?
Well, I think that's actually too kind to call it an experiment. An experiment is where you genuinely don't know what's going to happen and you're testing a hypothesis. But we know exactly what's going to happen by lifting the restrictions on July the 19th. We're already in an uncontrolled growth of the Delta variant. We will see increased hospitalizations, which we're currently seeing. We are creating the conditions for the emergence of new variants. We already have Lambda that's been identified in Latin America that is spreading slowly around the world. And of course, we mustn't forget the danger of long COVID. Approximately 1 in 10 people who get infected with SARS-CoV-2 go on to have symptoms after 3 months. And we are creating an epidemic of long COVID. So it's vital that we still, while we're driving up vaccination rates, that we still suppress transmission of the virus. And it's completely reckless to lift mandates on July the 19th.
And that is one key point, because 4,000 also doctors and scientists condemning the British plan to reopen in 10 days' time make that point, that even though cases are rising and hospitalizations and the death toll are not rising at this point at that same rate, there are those long-term effects and those sort of concerns. And also concerns about what sort of impact it might have on the economy, right, for those that are ill but not necessarily hospitalized.
Yeah, I mean, we have rightly over the past 15 months or so focused on deaths. But now in the younger age population, the population under 40, many of whom, of course, are key for our economic growth, for that group, long COVID is a much bigger threat than death. And if you've got something like 10% of those who get infected developing long COVID symptoms, you've got a problem. We are estimating that by August, we will probably have 100,000 infections every day if we release on July the 19th. If we have 100,000 infections a day, that's 10,000 people who will develop long COVID every single day throughout the summer. So we are creating a huge epidemic of sickness, which will then translate into further burdens on the National Health Service, further burdens on the economy. So this is where the logic is impossible to understand.
The UK, of course, has been widely praised for its vaccination rate. But as we are discussing, cases are rising exponentially. I'm wondering why the government is ignoring scientific advice and whether we could potentially see some sort of reversal.
Well, let's be clear. The answer here is indeed vaccination. But right now, because of the Delta variant being so much more transmissible, the virus is outpacing vaccination. So we need to get vaccination rates in the United Kingdom. It's around 51% of the population is double vaccinated. We need to get vaccination rates well above 70 or 75% to really suppress community transmission. We've done a phenomenal job, just like you've done a phenomenal job in the United States. You're at 48%. But we need to go that extra step further before we start to open up our society. We're almost there, but if we give up now, we really risk causing a self-inflicted wound.
And is that rate feasible? What are you seeing in the UK? What is the uptake of vaccines right now? Because here in the US, there is hesitancy.
Yes, we have hesitancy too, not so much in the older age groups, but in the younger age groups. And I can understand the reason for that, because they're thinking that since they're not at risk of death as older people are, perhaps they don't need to take the vaccine. But as I've said, I think we need to focus on the risk of long COVID. And also, and this again is entirely rational, if the government is saying, well, let's open up society on July the 19th, then people not unreasonably think, well, I don't have a problem. Why do I need to get vaccinated if the government's saying everything's going to be fine? But that's not right. That shouldn't be the message. The message should be go out there, get the vaccine. For the vast, vast majority of people, it's perfectly safe. It will protect you. It will protect those around you. And it's the only way to defeat this pandemic.
And just quickly, talk to us about the timing of this opening up of restrictions, given that obviously this is just 10 days away, but in the lead up to that, you've got the Euro 2020 final this weekend. And no doubt there will be a lot of celebrations in England.
Well, I'll be there cheering on England on Sunday night for sure, but I will be doing it from the comfort of my apartment. I will not be in Wembley because 60,000 people, largely not wearing masks, in Wembley Arena could very well turn out to be a super spreader event. And I'm afraid that's also a great concern. And look at the lesson from Tokyo. The Tokyo Olympic authorities have made the right decision. The city is in an emergency and they have decided not to have spectators at events in Tokyo. That is a prudent approach, it's a cautious approach, and it's an approach that shows an understanding of the science of this devastating virus.
Richard Horton, editor-in-chief of the Lancet. Good to get your perspective there. We hope to speak to you again soon. Thanks.
Thank you.